Today at Main Street Service Center, I'm sitting underneath a Ford Expedition, sitting here between two transmissions. The transmission right here to my left and your right is the one that we've pulled out of the vehicle. It just absolutely went bad, just would not move the vehicle any longer. Transmission to my right is one that we've picked up from the salvage yard. Customer decided that this vehicle had enough miles on it and stuff like that, and there were other things wrong with the vehicle, so they just wanted to kind of put it back together and get it back where it was drivable, and then they're thinking about maybe trading it in for something that's a little bit newer and a little bit fewer miles on it. So in this case, the option is either have a brand new rebuilt transmission installed, or do the salvage yard deal. We sell Jasper engines and transmissions, and whenever we sell those, of course, they come with a 3-year, 100,000 mile nationwide warranty, which is awesome. But a lot of times what the difference between wanting to put one of those in that's got the good warranty and putting one in from the salvage yard is obviously warranty. One from the salvage yard is going to come with a 90-day warranty on the part itself, and only 50% of the labor would be covered for that 90 days. But obviously the savings on this particular vehicle is about $1,500, so that's a lot of money. A lot of you have probably heard of the torque converter, and that's this big donut looking thing that's sitting right here, and it goes right here inside, and you can see it's actually installed on this one right here. But we'll actually be changing out that torque converter. And then in my hands, what I've got is a seal. If you happen to be maybe a do-it-yourself, or you're doing this at home or whatever, one of the things that you don't want to fail to do is change the seals and gaskets and things like that that are accessible while the transmission's out of it. It's just a few more dollars to do some things that are going to make a big difference. For instance, they're right inside here, going over that shaft is a seal, and it's called the torque converter shaft seal, or the front pump seal on the transmission. Of course, that needs to be replaced. We've also got a transmission filter kit that we're going to be installing on it. And then at the back of the transmission, where it bolts onto the transfer case, there's a gasket and another seal that go right here, and we're going to change those as well, because the last thing that you want to do is, even with a used transmission, is put this in and then have to pull everything back out again just because of a $6 seal or something like that. So here at Main Street Service Center, we're all about options as far as figuring out what your goal is with the vehicle. For instance, if it's a vehicle that you're wanting to keep for the next 2 to 3 years, obviously we're going to recommend a rebuilt transmission, because we feel like that in the long run the money is going to be a good investment, because you're going to be able to stand behind it. If it's something that you're thinking, hey, I'm going to be selling it in the next 6 to 8 months, let's just do what needs to be done in order to get you by that 6 to 8 months. And but doing it right, making some wise decisions, just spending a few more dollars to take care of some things like seals and gaskets and things that will definitely make the job a better job, even if you are putting used parts on. And don't get me wrong, the used parts, there's a lot of times we're very successful in putting used parts on without having any type of problems whatsoever. But at the same time, the warranty and the longevity goal is always something that we try to keep in mind. And so we again, just try to give our customers the information they need so they can make an informed decision, and then we work with them any way we can to make sure that their goals are met in their vehicle and their transportation needs. If you've got a question about anything that we've talked about this morning, or if you've got another vehicle need that you're having trouble with or got a question about, please don't hesitate to give us a call at 741-4252, or come by and see us. We're at 620 Goblin Drive. Mssc, that's Main Street Service Center, vehicle repair you can trust since 1989.
All right, Kevin, we'll go in 3, 2.
Today at Main Street Service Centers, one of the things that we run into from time to time is a customer brings us a vehicle and it's been to a couple other shops, and they're still having the same problem and so on and so forth. And in the vehicle repair business, we're not perfect. All of us are going to make mistakes from time to time or miss something. Unfortunately, in 25 years we've done that a time or two. And but today we've got a customer that's actually come from another town and having a problem, and she had the problem, took it into a shop, and they said, okay, well, this is what we need to do, and still had the problem, and then took it back, and the vehicle sat there for a couple of weeks. They never could get it worked back in for her to go ahead and see what the problem was, and then still having the issue, then they went out of business. So today at Main Street Service Center, we've got her in here and getting her fixed up. What we found is that whenever she had it into the other shop, that they had actually repaired or replaced an ignition coil on this vehicle, and this is the one that they put on. And this is actually a fairly good quality brand ignition coil that they put on, but it was bad. And so whenever they took it back, they just assumed that the part that they had installed was a good one, and so they started looking elsewhere and so on and so forth and couldn't find it. So what we did is whenever we tested and found out that was bad, this is a GM product, so we actually put on an AC Delco ignition coil, and that took care of the running issue that she was having. The other thing though is whenever the vehicle came in, it sounded terrible. I mean, it just sounded like there was just something in here just carrying on something fierce, and I assumed, based on listening to it, that probably that sound was associated with the way that it was running, and it wasn't. Whenever our technician found out that it was the ignition coil, and we got authorization and changed that ignition coil, the vehicle ran great. It still sounded terrible. Still sounded like it had some really bad issues. So we went ahead and checked into that for her just to see what we could find out. And we actually found that her belt tensioner assembly was bad. And you can see right here that it was actually, the tensioner assembly was so bad that it was actually rubbing right here on the bracket over there, and it was just making a bad noise. Now, the tensioner assembly, that's what keeps the drive belt nice and tight, okay? There's a huge, if I could open up this for you, there's a huge coil spring in here, and that's what actually keeps the belt nice and tight, keeps tension on that belt, and it does it automatically. Well, and then you can see this belt here. This belt has just got a lot of cracks in it and stuff like that. And so whenever we got the drivability, we got the issue that she brought it in for, we got that taken care of, and we called her and said, hey, we've got your vehicle running great. It was the ignition coil. It runs really good. However, unrelated to the drivability issue, it's got that noise still, and we found out that it's the tensioner assembly and the belt needs to be changed. Would you like us to take care of that while it's here? And so, of course, she's just like all of us. She wanted to know how much more that was going to cost and everything, and so we gave her that information. She said, yeah, go ahead and do that. So now the car is not only running great, but also it sounds so much better and everything. Now, Main Street Service Center, we're a big proponent of putting on quality parts that we know that we can stand behind, that they're going to last a long time, that we know that we're not going to get those parts right back. So for instance, we put on a Gates belt and a Gates belt tensioner assembly. As I said, we put on an AC Delco coil. There are a lot of cheap parts out there, but the saying goes, you get what you pay for, and that is exactly true in parts for vehicles. It's amazing. Something that looks identical to this is made by one company or in one country, and another part looks just like it is made somewhere else, and it's just night and day difference about the performance or the longevity of the part, how long it's going to last. So at Main Street Service Center, of course, we're always going to give you choices. That's what we've been doing for 25 years, and that's why we've been so successful in taking care of our customers. Visit us on the web or give us a call at 741-4252. I think I said that right. Or come by and see us at 620 Goblin Drive. Have a great day.
Good. Perfect. Now let me get this. If you can you hold
Yep,
that?
sure can.
Let me just get a close-up of the cracks on that thing. Okay, very good. Okay, Kevin, we'll go in 3, 2.
Today at Main Street Service Center, I'm standing in front of a little Toyota car. This is a fairly new car. It's just here for regular routine maintenance. We're changing the oil and filter on it and checking all the belts, hoses, fluid levels, tire pressure, checking it for any preventative maintenance that it may need based on age and mileage. The temperature outside is warming up. We've got a lot of calls nowadays for people needing their air conditioning checked. It was, hey, yesterday it was working fine, today it's not. Or, you know, last year it wasn't cooling so well, this year it's not cooling at all. We get a lot of those phone calls, and of course we can take care of those AC needs for you. So if you've got any of those, be sure and give us a call. We'll set you up an appointment, get it in and do a diagnostics on it and figure out why it's giving you, why it's not cooling for you. Again, as I said, we're doing a service job on this one, just changing the oil and filter, regular routine maintenance. Something that a lot of people don't know, and I wish they did, is that we do service work on brand new vehicles. So if you're ready for your first oil and filter change, if the dealer has not given you a free oil and filter change, I would highly recommend that you bring it to Main Street Service Center and let us service it for you. Everything that we do will not void any type of warranty. For instance, we've gotten several vehicles in here that have been brand new over the years, and for instance we'll find shocks that are leaking or front main seals that are leaking, things that you wouldn't normally expect on a brand new vehicle. And whenever we find those type of things, of course we refer you back to the dealership so they can go ahead and get those things taken care of for you under warranty. But the thing is a lot of times the dealerships will have their very lowest level technician doing the oil and filter change. Maybe he's not experienced in what to look for on you know, seals that are leaking. You know, they just go in there and go, well, it's a brand new vehicle and nothing's wrong with this, right? They drop the oil, the filter, they fill it back up and send it on its way without checking the other things that there may be an issue with. And so the great thing about this is, or the unfortunate thing about this is actually, is whenever you buy a brand new vehicle, the insinuation is made whenever you're sitting there signing all the zillions of documents and everything, that if you don't take it back to the dealership for servicing, that it's somehow going to void your warranty. Now they don't say that, but it's the insinuation that comes out. And so don't be fooled by that trickery. Know that you can take it where you want to get it serviced, and if you take it to some place like us where we're certified and have certified technicians, there's no void of warranty at all. Everything that we do is stand behind. We've got a guarantee, sometimes better than the actual dealerships will give you. But if you're needing regular service work, or if you're hot and you're needing your air conditioning taken a look at, give us a call at 741-4252 or come see us at 620 Goblin Drive. We'll be happy to take care of you.